Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as usual, let's go over the market. Let's talk about, oh, my phone's going off. Let's talk about, or actually my Apple Watch. Anyway, let's talk about what happened in the market today, what we can expect moving forward, and yeah, all that good stuff as usual. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button on the video. It does help a lot, but let's just jump right into it, guys. So Tesla ended the day down just over 4%, putting us at $288.59. So pretty much as expected. As we said yesterday, will Tesla crash here? Like I said, it's not looking good, right? I said it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking super hot. And that's essentially what happened, right? We got rejected. You can see by this trend line that we kind of broke out of almost on the bull flag, if you will, that we had, or pennant, if you want to call it, that was over here. So I want to remove these ones for now. So that's not good. We did break down, and we also broke down and closed below this trend line here. Like I said, I still have that 3-day rule. I'm not going to eliminate that rule because I'm more bearish biased at the moment. That is still technically a possibility that it can recover over this line. Will it happen? I don't think so, but it is still technically a possibility. So as long as we see this kind of weakness and we don't see it close back above this trend over here, this trend line, which is pretty much going to be around 294, 95, somewhere around that general range, pretty much by Monday close. That's not good. Let's just say that is not good. Taking a quick look at the things that we care about, being the 21 EMA. Well, we are currently below it. We're just below the white line on the Bollinger Band. 50 moving average, we did bounce off of it, but below the 200, so that's not good. So we're going to be, again, my guess right now, for the most part, is we're going to be trading in this range. Pretty much, I think we can still go as low as 280. I really think that this is possible. But I personally think this range right here is what we're going to be trading in for the next few weeks. We might go a little bit lower. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if we do go a little bit lower, maybe even as low as to like 73. But my best guess is that we're going to be trading somewhere in this general range. Like, I think we're going to be pretty much going, more or less like sideways in this range between like this 290-ish level to like this like 275-ish level. I think that will be kind of the range that we are currently going to be trading in for now, unless we somehow go even lower, which again is possible, but that's my current guess. Anyways, we're below both of the short-term moving averages, so Tesla essentially has pretty much flipped bearish as expected, as I'm sure. Hopefully it's not, too alarming to anyone. Again, I've been calling it for a while. Like I said, I don't know when it's going to happen, right? Because it's pretty much impossible to time the market. I can't tell you guys, yeah, it'll happen at this time, exactly this date or something like that, right? I can give you a rough estimation, but I can't say exactly when. But I have been essentially saying that I do believe something like this, and I think it will still get worse, will happen. It's just a matter of when, not if. And here we are. So hopefully you guys aren't too surprised by this, because, I have been calling this for quite a while. But nonetheless, moving on, so pretty much we did, like I said, break below this trend line, which isn't good at all. The RSI is pointing straight down, and it's not really looking all that great, right? It did go even lower than I thought. I thought, there's a chance that maybe we bounce off this trend line first and then kind of go lower after, but we just went straight below it, which isn't great, of course. Now, we did come over to the support at 285, which I had this line for, forever, essentially, at this point. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do come up down to potentially 280. Maybe tomorrow or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. But I do overall expect somewhere around this, range. Pretty much, let's just say, to be, safe, 280 as a safe zone. I do expect 280 to be a bounce area. So personally, I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially come down to somewhere around here still, and then we potentially get a bounce, maybe come up, retest this breakout. Somewhere closer, it'll be around 300 by the time we do it, which will happen, in my opinion, the first half of October. And then we go ultimately lower, much lower. Maybe we go back to this level, maybe we go back to 262, maybe we go even to 250. I don't know exactly yet. We'll have to see if this is even the bottom. Maybe we go even lower than this. Like, we just have to really see where that kind of takes us. But that's something else to consider. If you're a bull and you're still kind of clinging onto some hope, then essentially what you want to be seeing is, you don't want to be seeing Tesla go lower than 276. If Tesla goes lower than around 276, then I think all dreams of the bull, all the bull dreams are, pretty much dead. Let's just say that. But at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move, something along the lines of this, little art that I drew, if you will. So that's just something to consider. That's just kind of my current projection. Again, the RSI is pointing straight down. The market itself isn't looking great. It was looking okay earlier, but because of this current low, it broke down from, these kind of, yellowy lines, if you will. But it is finding some potential support on this red line here, so that's a possibility. The RSI is not looking the greatest. It did make a lower low along with the stock, which means that, that's not really finding too much strength at the very moment, which in my opinion means that there is potential for some, lower lows still happening. It can still potentially go even lower. I wouldn't be surprised if the market itself, like SPY, comes down to as low as 362. Like, that to me would be like really, really low, but it's not surprising. I still think it has room all the way as far as that, that low. But I do expect anywhere from here to 362. So anywhere within this 10-point range, I do expect this area, somewhere in this area, that we find a bounce again into like the first half of October into, or maybe like, the 15, 16, 17, something like that, somewhere around the mid range of October. And then I think we'll fall even lower than that. Tesla, of course, the thing with Tesla that's weird is that it hasn't been following the market as well. So it just makes you wonder, like, is it going to play catch up or is it just going to show overall strength? That's this question that makes me a little bit confused as well sometimes, right? Like, what's Tesla? What does it really want to do here? Again, ultimately, it is showing a lot more weakness than strength. RSI on the daily pointing straight down, the 4-hour pretty much just pointing straight down, like much lower than any of these levels, which isn't, great, of course. The 3-hour just straight down. It's just showing a lot of just downward momentum. So with not a lot of signs of recovery just yet. On the bright side, however, if we do go on the really short time frame, on the 15-minute chart, even the 30-minute chart, pretty much starting at the 1 hour and shorter time frames, like 30, 15, 5, etc. We'll go on the 30 to make it easiest. That 15 is actually the easiest to see, in my opinion. The general consensus is similar between all of those that I just mentioned, but the 30-minute, in my opinion, or 15-minute rather, shows it the most obvious, I guess, to make it clear. But there's two potential bullish things setting up, actually. And I did enter some bullish positions, which I will explain at the end of the video. But essentially what I see happening here is, as you can see, as an example, right? So the reason I knew this fall was going to happen like pretty soon, I've been saying it, is because as Tesla was making, the chart was going up, 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 up. The RSI was going down, 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 down. But now we're seeing the opposite, right? If we zoom in over here, you can see as the stock is kind of trending downwards like this, right? As we're kind of doing this, the RSI is not doing that. RSI is instead going like this, right? It's doing the opposite. It's making a bullish divergence here on the shorter time frame, which to me just tells me that, maybe we'll get a little bit of a balance, pretty soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday or whatever, something like that, right? There's, potential of a bounce, but the shorter time frames are a lot more volatile, in my opinion, where it's not as... Something like this on a very short time frame isn't as like I won't put as much weight into it. Let's just say that essentially is what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't put too much weight onto it. But this is something we start seeing on a larger time frame. So for instance, maybe like at least the 1 hour, which is slowly starting to show it. It's not like crazy yet, but like the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 3 hour, if we start seeing something like that there, then that's when I would start saying that, yeah, maybe we'll get, an actual trend reversal, at least for the next week or two. That's not showing it yet, which to me is not super confidence inspiring yet. So that's why I have entered some bullish positions in case, it does happen, but it might not, which in that case, I'm completely still ready to sell more puts if I need to. I also did exit my bought put that I got up here yesterday. I exited it somewhere around 393. For about a 60% gain, so I'm very happy about that. Obviously, not as low as I don't think we'll go this low. I actually thought, there's a chance that we hold somewhere around this kind of 393 to 390 level. I really thought that it might bounce up to this level from here to back to 300 and then fall even further. So I was hoping to reload here. Clearly it didn't, it just kept falling. And that's when I started selling puts. Once it broke below this level, pretty much all through this 290 range, all the way down to 285, I was selling puts. So I'll explain my positions very quickly because I did essentially give you guys the rundown on what I think will happen, moving forward. Hopefully that's enough to give you guys an idea. Again, it is of course all just a guess. I don't know for sure, but my positions currently are, I opened 3 sold puts, which is a bullish position for next Friday. I sold a 285, a 283.33 or something like that it was, and a 280. Those are the 3 I sold, pretty much making my 285 break even 280, my 283 break even being around 278 to 9-ish, and my 280 that I sold break even being around, that one is around 275, I believe, break even. Something like that is my current break even price for those, and my current, I guess, open positions, if you will, that I'm currently trading. So pretty much all that means is the fact that I expect a bounce coming up, pretty soon. Maybe not necessarily tomorrow or Monday, but probably starting sometime next week is when I expect a bounce, which is why if we come all the way down to 280, that's perfectly fine. If I somehow get assigned one of those calls or puts that I've sold, that's perfectly fine. I'll just sell long duration calls. Again, not financial advice. I don't want people to blindly follow what I'm doing because, I'm doing something that I know what it is. I understand it. I understand the risk, the consequences. I understand, how to get out if I really want to, and how to, proceed further if I'm forced to exercise the puts. right? I know what this play is and means for me. So that's why if you blindly follow and something happens that you're not sure, you're not gonna know what to do. Again, highly recommend that you guys make your own plays, that you don't just follow what I'm doing. But essentially, if I'm forced to buy any of those shares, up to 300, of course, shares, that's perfectly fine with me. I'll just sell long duration calls against them on the bounce, which I still think will come. Based on the chart I showed you guys earlier about the second year new Democratic presidents, how I think we'll have a bounce moving into the first half of October, and then the second half of October into November, like very early November, is when the major drop should happen again, similar to what we had so far in the markets, just again, essentially, and pretty much lower than, new lows essentially should be formed. That's kind of what I'm guessing at the very moment and what I'm foreseeing, and why I foresee a bounce coming up very soon as well. The technicals aren't fully suggesting a bounce just yet, in all honesty. They're getting close, but it's not fully suggesting a bounce just yet. It's just slowly creating the potential for it, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if we go a little bit lower. Again, I personally hope Tesla comes down to 280 maybe tomorrow. If it does, amazing. I'm probably going to sell. If it does come to 280, my plan is to sell a longer duration put, which is a bullish position. I feel like sometimes people don't understand what a sold put means. A sold put means that I'm the one selling the contract to someone else that's buying the put. It's a bullish position. That means I'm essentially saying I don't think it'll go much lower than this, and if it does, I'm okay buying shares, right? So if it comes down to 280, which I still genuinely would not be surprised. Not only is that going to be this support here, so it'll essentially set up the potential inverted head and shoulders, which again, I said I'm not putting too much weight into it, but it is still something to consider. It is still technically a possibility. I wouldn't like completely disregard it. I just wouldn't, say that it's my favorite pattern in this specific example right here, right now. But it is still something to consider. It still has, decent support here. As you can see, we also have a bunch of resistance here. So I personally think 280 is not out of the question tomorrow and or Monday, which if that happens, I will sell another put, just a longer duration put, which is, even more bullish of a position, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Tesla, like I called it, has crashed. Also, guys, I want to make this very clear. Like, don't get me wrong. I like hearing opinions and stuff. I like hearing what you guys think. I want you guys to chat in the comments. But there's certain comments that get posted that I just genuinely don't understand why they're posted. Let's just say that. So for instance, just an example like this right here. Like, you sold your puts yesterday, lol. And the reason was Tesla had a historic interest. Okay, guys, we'll see if it hits 295 and crashes tomorrow, lol. Okay, well, first of all, I went even lower, so, number one, take the L. And second of all, like, why do people, this guy posts, people like post these kind of comments as if they know what I've done and what trades I've entered and not entered, what new trades I've entered, not entered. Like, you have no idea, right? Like, I like comments, it's fine if you have an opinion, whatever, don't get me wrong. But if you're just writing idiotic things like this, like, I'm probably just going to ban you from commenting, because I literally just I don't care about seeing those kind of comments. I don't care about your opinion when it's something like this. Like, come on, like, they're trying to like put words in my mouth essentially, which is just, insane. Just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, nonetheless, that's it. That's what I'm seeing, guys. Overall, not looking great. Again, I do expect to bounce relatively soon, but ultimately the trend does seem to be finally going to the downside. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. But ultimately, to quickly reiterate, I would not be surprised if we come down around 280, come back up, retest somewhere around this general level up here, maybe even as high as 300, and then ultimately go even lower. That's my current prediction. We'll see if it comes to fruition or not. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.